Greetings, everyone. It is Ron, and that is not Joe. That is Dave over there with his cat.
Alien cat.
What's your cat's name, Dave? I can't remember.
Her name would be Violet.
That's Violet. That's right. That's Violet.
Yeah.
So that is Dave and Violet over there in the studio, and this is Wild and Weird Radio Live. We were supposed to have did a In Focus episode tonight, Dave, where we analyzed people's videos and whatnot, but something happened, and we made a promise a couple of weeks ago, and here's how that went. So I'm going to play that really quick for you just to show you how we got to where we are tonight, because the show was interrupted for this. It actually changes trajectory or changes its speed. That is something that's completely different. I think your big tail will be once this thing comes back around the sun. If it's where it's supposed to be, good to go. If it's not, we got things to talk about. So we got things to talk about, right, Dave?
Three Islands went a little interesting.
We got things to talk about. But before we get into that, let's get everybody welcomed in over here. And man, oh man, are you guys coming in? Come on in. Everybody, if this is your first time around, if it's not your first time around, doesn't matter. Join the conversation tonight. That's what it's for. This live works kind of different than most other ones. We have fun here. We're a little serious too at times, but you know, we still break into the fun because you can't be serious all the time. And you know, the whole thing is run by you guys, the folks who are doing the super stickers, the super chats, all that stuff, every single one of you. And if you don't do that, just hit that like, hit that subscribe, and hit that hype button. There you go. That's how you support us. But we are on our way, Dave, now to that 3,000. I told you we're going to hit 3,000 by the end of the year, and we are going to make it happen. It is group manifestation. So every single one of you think that, right? Because we're closing in on it. We're around 900 and something now away from it. So we're really moving in there. And that's pretty great for us. Joe is out tonight, just to let you all know, because he's got some crud that's going around, some virus thing, and so he can use your energy. He is probably in the chat at some point tonight, though. He still would be dropping in. So if you see him down there, you know, send him some positive vibes and some good luck and all that stuff. Prayers never hurt at all. Let's see who we got. We got Donna Ho is here. We've got Brenda Radcliffe over there. Hello, guys. We've got, I'm still scrolling down. Jordan Booker's here. James Nelson's here. Enzo is here. Gary Schuler made it. LR Miller is here. R. Byron is here. Eyes in the Woods, I see you out there. Hey there. Let's see what else. Who else? Jen's here. I see Jen. Tommy Swagger's here. Jordan Booker's here. Ada Cox is here with the aliens, and I believe, are those owls? I think they're owls. They're always owls. It's always owls. Who else do we have? We've got Linda Sigmund over here, which is really cool because, Linda is actually going to like next week's episode, Dave. We have the, it's Mothman Days, and we're kicking it off. We've got a really good show planned for next week. We've got some incredible people who are going to be telling their story, and we've got some takes on this that you've probably never heard. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So you're definitely going to want to be joining us for that if you're a Mothman fan. And who isn't, right? Octo is here. Octo, Seth Lamille. Let's see. Copperhead striking right there. Hello, Dave. Hello, Violet. Ron and Joe. Hello. Let's see. There's Jordan. Man, I'm trying to keep up to you guys. I'm going to do it. We've got everything programmed over here, and I think we're going to be able to do it. Dark, was that Overoo's here? Dark Wolf's over here. JB, howdy, West Virginia. Hello, JB. Hello, hello. And where are you from? Deborah Gibbons is here. Hello, fellow weirdos. That's weirdos, weirdettes. Just got to include everybody. And it don't matter which one you want to be. I don't really care. Just as long as you're weird, you're welcome here. Everybody. I think that's everybody for right now. When you're coming in, just say hi. We'll pop you over here. Make sure you're subbed. I think you have to sub to be able to comment, something like that. So make sure that you are subbed. And then you can comment and chat away. I think there's like a little window of like 5 minutes or something, but either way, join in the conversation as soon as it lets you, and ask your questions, post your comments. That's what we do here. So be a part of it. Dave is our resident astronomer over here, and I couldn't think of anyone else to really chair this tonight because we, like I said, we've got some stuff to talk about. Our buddy there, 3i Atlas, has come back around the sun, right, Dave?
Yeah, it's a little interesting, isn't it?
It's a little interesting. And up until about 2 days ago, we really just thought, we would mention 3i Atlas in the news update and move on and, go do the In Focus stuff. But it got a little more interesting than that, didn't it?
Yeah, it has. It's got the they're saying it's bluer than expected, which would say that it's hotter.
Oh, it's yeah. It's something. So let's see. I've got the I think the first image, the first look that we got of this thing after it came back around. I'm going to pull that up here for us, and I believe it's this one right here. Does that look right?
Yes, the earlier one from Mars. Yeah.
This one, let's see, was looks like it was taken. Where's it at? Arizona, believed to be the first optical post-perihelion shot. It was Halloween. So this was October 31st. So this would have been right as that thing came back around. As you see, the date up there is 31.5, which is odd, but that's about half a day in, almost November 1st. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right around November. Yep.
Yeah. So, everybody already kind of knows that this thing's acting weird and whatnot, but let's just go over it really quick because there are those folks who are going to be watching this video and be like, what are they talking about? So, like I said, since July, we've been watching this thing, right? It's an interstellar object and it's behaving strangely. It's been behaving strangely, right, Dave?
It has. It's of course it did have that little bit of gravitational self acceleration, which is interesting.
Yeah. So
which that is normal with comets.
Here's the thing: aside from we had our those low images that came by as it came past Mars. We talked about that. And we thought, if someone's going to get some good images of this thing, we've got some probes out there, right? So we got the high rise. It's going to get some good images of this thing. So we waited and we waited and we're still waiting. NASA has not released any images of this thing yet due to the ongoing, government shutdown. At least that's what they say. But it's interesting because, this thing did reach perihelion on October 29th. And it was 130 million miles or so from the sun, as I recall.
Yeah.
It was visible at that time by some satellites. The satellites have gotten some data on this thing. And like you said, turns out that it's shifted colors yet again. It apparently now is blue and it has evidence of non-gravitational acceleration. Now, people are getting really excited about that part right there. Right, Dave?
Yeah, and it's not, it's exciting to a degree, but it's not quite as exciting as some of the folks out there are making it out to be too.
Well,
You know,
I mean, we look at it for what it is. Okay. So we're going to look at both sides of this coin tonight, and we're going to see, because we need to understand the anatomy of what's happening here, because this is going to go crazy. You know, as well as I do. Tomorrow, Friday, if nothing big happens, this is going to be the story of the weekend, and everybody's going to be sharing this. And there's some clips here that are going to go viral, and I want to address those tonight before they do go viral. Okay.
yes.
Because we've got some interesting claims. Avi Loeb has been, on several things talking, and some of his stuff makes perfect sense. By the way, I mean, let's just call it for what it is. Because in July, this thing was red. Okay, when we first saw it, it was red. It was showing up in the red spectrum, and then it turned green. Just was last month, right? It was September. No, it was September. It turned green, right?
Yeah, it was fairly recent. I mean, very very recent. So
And then now it's blue. So we've seen it change colors. We've seen the tail or whatever it is moving, back and forth, whatever, pointing toward the sun, not pointing toward the sun. It's weird. It's just weird. And I think that's where we've got a lot of people who are kind of, they're anxious. Wouldn't you say that'd be the right word? Kind of.
yeah, the conspiracy theorists are really anxious.
Oh man. I don't even know how to go there with that as far as it goes, Dave. But
Another thing.
let me go down our notes here, and let's see. So it did something odd, right? So this would be the one I just showed, the non-gravitational gravital acceleration, which we're going to talk about that after we look at one of the updates this was yesterday. This is how fast this story grew, guys. It went from yesterday to what we're getting ready to show you to today. And let me find that clip and we'll play it. Let's see. That would be this one, and I believe this was from NBC. Yeah, here it is. This is from yesterday. And it's not playing.
Comet or question mark 3i at.
Whoops, hang on. I got to remove that for a second. That doesn't. Here. That's where it belongs.
It is up to a little bit more strangeness. Now, last week, we told you that 3i Atlas was getting way brighter, way bluer as it got close to the sun. Well, now there is a new report from NASA that shows that 3i Atlas might be picking up a little speed in, quote, non-gravitational acceleration.
So I want to stop it right there, just because, as we said, they clicked on this right from the get-go. As soon as that happened, and we knew that was a possibility, that this was going to happen. That's why I said what I said when we addressed it earlier. If something looks a little different, we're going to come back on here and talk about this. Not because it's aliens, okay, but because it's kind of expected, right, Dave? I mean, in a way.
It really is.
Now,
sorry.
No. I need you to talk about this a little bit, because this is your wheelhouse. I mean, you understand astronomy as far as it goes. So can things change speed, especially comets? And just very quickly, kind of explain how that works. Okay.
Absolutely. I mean, basically, it's like when the comets are going around Perihelion on the sun, and it goes out, they start outgassing, and then that outgassing alone, it can push the comet forward, and that's the most simplest way to put it. It acts like a tiny thruster, more or less, on the comet itself. As those outgases come out, that's why you see some of those gases. Some of those gases are falling off, and it's just like it's a push. What makes this one a little bit different, though, at the moment, it's gone a little bit faster, and the course of it's still on course to where it was, but the direction's changed a little bit too. But that could also be, if it's got a strong enough push, I mean, that could affect it a little bit. But being non-gravitational, the outgassing itself there's some weirdness right there. But
so here's what my thing is with the explanation for the outgassing and the course corrections, etc. Changing. We have to remember that this thing is not just moving through space on a x axis, right? It's not just doing this.
Yeah.
It's doing this. It's tumbling all the way around through. So as it's moving past the sun, it could be heating up. There could be we don't know what the inner core is. Let's be real. So it could have, there could be jets of gas shooting out of this thing that's kind of moving around. However, if that's the case, then we could also expect it to not shoot this way or that way, but rather to just jump all around, right? Because it's turning, and as it's turning, those jets are also turning. And is that a fair analysis?
It's very fair, and I think most, because I'm an amateur, but I figure most professional astrophysicists and they would agree with that.
That's me. I keep forgetting which camera's what. So here's the thing: if that's the case, right? Then could that not explain some of this deviation? And could we expect to see more of that deviation before we realize, hey, this might just be a rock that's outgassing, or a snowball that's outgassing?
But once it reaches that point where it's already, funny things, I'm into this hardcore, and I never can pronounce the word perihelion. I can't pronounce it. I have trouble with that word for some reason. But anyway, once it's past that point, once it has the outgassing and it speeds up, it should, course correct is not really quite the right word for it, but it should correct itself enough to where it stays in going the direction it's going.
It settles is what you're trying to say.
Direction. Yeah.
Okay, so it's going to settle. And then once it settles,
It
should settle, right? If it doesn't settle, then we do have some other things that we kind of probably need to address.
Yeah.
Let me go over here and grab some of these comments really quick before we go to that next clip. Guys, keep putting them in there. We're going to be scrolling down and looking at these as we roll.
You need to look at Gary's comments, Ron. His are very scientific and educational.
I'm going to
be Gary are sharing experiences.
I'm going to be pulling some of these up here for us. We have Octo in the color shift. That's likely just from outgassing refractions, all kinds of frozen goodies melting and boiling and burning off different elements, since it's now close to a star than it's ever been, probably for a long time, actually. Let's see. We got Bigfoot, aliens waving. Yep, that's what they're doing, is they're getting speed up. They're waving, passing the earth and waving. Let's see who else we got down here. Let's see. Aliens clearly sent it here just to get not very close and then leave again. Well, do you blame them?
It's funny that I should say that, though, because that's, Avi Loeb's kind of indicated, and some of the other scientists, that could be a thing.
That could be a thing. And we're going to talk about that. We're not going to sit here and debunk this thing into the ground and say there's no way that this is possible. And you're going to understand that by the time we get to the end of this, because there's some weird stuff here, right, Dave?
Oh, very weird. Yeah. It's unusual.
Yeah. Like Linda said, no tail. And a non-gravitational acceleration, smoking gun. Maybe I wouldn't call it a smoking gun, but I would say that it's definitely something to watch. And
that's a good point there, Ron.
What's that?
Because and I know we'll get into that more in a little bit too, but where there's no tail, it's like, we should be seeing a massive tail compared to lemon right now.
Exactly. We will definitely be going to that in just a second. Overall, they're good, still dealing. Okay, this is somebody telling me that. I'm sorry, guys. Let me see. I'm trying to find just a question as such. Is it a probe? Does anyone remember V'ger? There you go, Dark Wolf. Exactly. We're gonna have some Star Trek references tonight. Trust me. Yeah. Is it a probe? This is what one would look like. Let's be real. That's what sends the triggers, and that's what makes.
Ron.
Huh?
I'm gonna throw something out there.
Go ahead.
You need a 3-eye Atlas blessing.
Oh, we do. You know what's really funny is I started to make one a couple of, it's been almost a month ago, and I was going to do that, and this is when it was first started to come around. People were saying, "Oh, mothership" and all that, right? I was going to do that, and then the thing started acting really weird, and I'm like, that would be in bad taste if this turns out to really be a mothership. So I didn't, but you know, but we're gonna make something. We're gonna definitely make something. Noir is here. Hello, welcome. Let's see, anybody else sneaking in? Anyone else that's sneaking in here, make sure that you do hit the like, hit the subscribe. And once you're subscribed, about, I think it's like a 5-minute window, then make sure that you say hi and get your 2 cents in with this, because everybody else is, putting theirs in. Might as well hear yours. Can't be any more wrong, right, Dave? I mean, we've seen some really good stuff at this point, huh?
Absolutely. Hey, we got to highlight Strange Talk on his question. I mean, it's a little off topic, but it's still on topic too.
I'm getting there. There's a bunch of them. I'm still scrolling down. John Turley made it. Look at this. Sounds like everyone is sharing their Taco Bell experiences. Oh my God. He's talking about the outgassing. That was a brilliant one. I wish I could give you a prize for that. L.R. Miller kicked off the blessings down here. So let me do the same for you, my friend. Let me do the same for you. Let's find our assets. Here they are. I think we'll do, oh, you know what? I think we're going to do the traditional. Let's kick this thing off the right way for you folks who don't know what's happening right now or about to happen. I'm sorry, but this is how we say thank you here at Wild and Weird Radio. I mean, we don't call it Wild and Weird Radio just for nothing, okay? I mean, it gets weird. Some of these blessings get really weird. No, what happens there is you guys are kind enough to help keep the lights on here and keep things flowing with those donations. And every time you do, we make these little thank you cards, basically, and they're digital, and they come around, and they're digital blessings. That's just what we call them. Noir, there you go. There's another digital blessing right there. So you guys hang on. I got to do this. You're being recognized. That's what we do here. We can't do it without you. And we like to make sure that we give you a little something for your trouble. How about some sky jellies, Dave? That'd be fun, right?
I don't know. What's the sky jelly?
Sky jellies. All right, let's go. I'm still scrolling down. Let's see. John, I love all the Star Trek references. Yeah, there's gonna be more. By the way, I don't know if you guys saw it or not. I'm a geek, and I think I sent it to Dave earlier today. The new the Lego set, right? That Lego set, the next generation Lego set, amazing. With an incredibly crazy price, $400. However, it comes with the crew, and I got to be honest with you, I think each one of those minifigures is going to be worth anywhere from $20 to $50 a pop for you collector friends out there. If I got it though, I'd be building it. I have to say that.
I might actually buy that.
I'm waiting for the X-Files. That's my big one. I'm waiting for the X-Files because I just bought the Going Merry, the One Piece one that they made and built that, and that's in a display now. But when it comes to that budget, I'm waiting for the X-Files. That's coming, I'm telling you.
And supposedly there's another season.
Oh yeah, saw that. Q won't save us now. Q never would save us.
Q would say that they need cake.
Q is probably driving it. Yeah, there you go. What was that episode? You guys remember it? I can't think of the name of it right now. The old classic episode, the machine that ate the worlds. Remember that one? I can't
remember that.
Right now. Yeah. I can't remember the name of it right now. All right, I think I'm all caught up down here with all these folks. Okay. X-Files one looks so good in photos. Yes, it does. And man, when I first saw it, I'm like, I started making a room for it at that point. Okay. Because the folks who don't know, I'm a pretty big Lego geek. I've been that since I was a kid. And I've collected them for a very long time. All right, so let's go back into the show. We got sidetracked, and folks, that's how this live works. We get sidetracked sometimes talking about goofy stuff, but like I said, we can't be serious all the time. Copperhead, when an item enters the gravity field of a larger item than exists, doesn't it gain momentum, sort of a slingshot effect? Dave.
That yeah, I mean, there's kind of two answers for that. I mean, yes, I mean, depending on this how close it is, it could grab the object and then kind of orbit, which we do have an orbiting extra moon right now. So they say I think we mentioned on a previous shows, Ron, but
that's no moon, Dave.
It's tiny. So it's actually caught in the sun's orbit versus the Earth, really. But eventually that thing will go out. But as far as a comet, with the way it's coming in and going out, it kind of comes in, it gets caught briefly enough to launch it. So if you watch like The Expanse or some of these space shows, like where they're using the sun as a way to launch further out, to gain speed and get further out, it's kind of a similar in physics, I guess you could say.
Dude, that's a classic Star Trek. I mean, everyone knows that when you zip around the sun and you do the slingshot effect, you go back in time, right? And then you get seen as a UFO, right? That's what you're talking
about. But yeah, exactly. If you look at some movies, for example, like Interstellar, I'm a huge fan of that movie. And that Interstellar, if you they've had actual scientists, different astrophysicists come in and talk about how real that movie is. Like it's pretty accurate for the most part.
There. That's it right there.
Yep.
It's all Dave's fault right there. Yeah. We know who
it's
it
Doom.
is. It's
Doom.
Doomsday Dave right here, guys. living it up. Let's see. I've never had Legos. My mom said she didn't want to step on them. I have no idea what she was talking about. Idling logs. Let me tell you something. I always heard that whole stepping on Legos thing like a landmine, and I always laughed about that until I don't know, it's been 6 years ago or something like that. I stepped on a Lego, wasn't mine. It was at another person's house, and I broke my toe. I don't laugh at it anymore.
Maybe broken anything before.
And I never broke a bone. That was my first broken bone was due to Legos. So, I mean, it's fitting. That could be worse, but yeah, Legos did that to me. And I still like them. John, I believe Joe and Ron have Lego sets of Wild and Weird. Yes, we do have Lego sets of Wild and Weird, and that was a pretty limited edition that John made, and they're just fantastic. By the way, absolutely fantastic. So we'll pull those out here one day and let you guys see them. Q is my favorite character. Next Generation, talking about John Delancey. Mine too, absolutely. Nothing like Q in that Snap. He was the original Snap. You guys know that, right? Thanos thinks nothing on Q. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Strange talk. Eyes in the Woods. They had Lincoln Logs. Some Legos, both are equally dangerous, aren't they? Though, I mean, I didn't do it, but I could definitely see Lincoln Logs just.
I had the wooden Lincoln Logs when I was a kid.
I had those. Yeah.
Those were fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They were fun with GI Joe toys.
Just I still have some of his original Lego sets from when I was a kid. That's the funny part, and they're pretty highly sought after. I just don't know where they're all at. Let's see. I'm still scrolling down. You guys, please ask your questions. Get them in here to David, and let us. I want to hear your thoughts. We want to hear your thoughts about this stuff too. Ashley made it in. Everybody, Ashley's here. Hello, Ashley. They're Lincoln logging. So we're going to go and we're going to watch that other clip now, Dave. Let me go ahead and remove this one. So this will be NBC November 5/1, 5/2, and this is with Avi Loeb. And my God, I remember I gotta change this down here to the media presentation room before I do that. Okay, here we go. All right. And here we go.
Like, how much acceleration are we talking here?
It was data from the ALMA observatory, which is a millimeter wave set of sensors that presumably detected the 3i Atlas as it approached perihelion, closest approach to the sun. And what it discovered is a deviation by 4 arc seconds in right ascension from the expected path. And that's very significant.
Okay, so Dave, 4 arc seconds.
That's
astronomy term, right?
yeah.
Because we used to have to dial that in by hand on our old telescopes. They didn't do that by themselves. We had to do right and left inclinations and so forth. But can you explain what that kind of means as far as a deviation?
Well, that was tough to explain, but it's basically a form of angular measurement.
Mm-hmm.
So arc and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
now, like with my equipment, which I've got a telescope behind me right here, one of my telescopes, and that actually there's a which I don't have it on here ironically on this one, but I have like a little brain, like a controller. It's like a little Pi, like one of those little Raspberry Pis people buy, put little games on. But anyway, that's what controls this thing. It's the brain of the whole operation. So when I do the polar alignments, it actually calculates the arcsec on its own. I don't even have to do that. So it's completely automatic in this thing, which makes it much easier for me. But yeah, the old school way of doing it,
Wow.
yeah, you had to do it, get everything yourself.
Yeah, you had to dial it in, and then you had the knobs. You had to actually sit there and track your object. But basically what he's saying is the curve changed, right? That's kind of what he's saying.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the easiest way to put that.
I mean, 4 arcsec, 6 arcsec.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not. I don't know. I don't want to use the word significant. It's not really a significant change. It's definitely interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's enough to make you kind of raise an eyebrow.
Right. It's kind of like, hey, look at me, right? I mean, if we kind of looked at it like that, it would be like something like tapping you on the shoulder saying, I'm a little different. Look at me, if you really wanted to go that route. So
yeah.
Let's go to, we have another clip right here. Go to media presentation. Here we go. This is Avi again.
So that means that if it's a comet, a natural comet, it should be surrounded by a cloud of gas that carries 5 billion tons or more. And the object itself was losing a significant fraction of its mass. So that means when we look at the 3I Atlas after it goes out of hiding behind the sun, and that should happen within a week or two. If it's a natural comet, we should really see a very bright, massive cloud of gas, and perhaps even a cometary tail that is extremely bright.
This is the problem, right, Dave?
Yes.
So this is the part that concerns us more than, all the other stuff. It's interesting. All the other stuff is interesting, but the fact that this thing, it doesn't equal. There's obviously something there, but there is no tail.
The weird thing about the tail, Ron, that kind of interests me, it's like, I mean, on my generalized knowledge, for what little training I've had, when my brain would tell me that the outgassing burned off, it burned everything off, and what we have now is just this rock, But that being said, it has a crap ton of ice on it still yet. At least it should. So we should definitely be seeing a tail of some type. That's what's really striking to me. Yeah.
And we've also had these incredible geomagnetic storms. So we know that we've got crazy space weather going on right now, which should theoretically actually push back a little bit more on that, right? The solar winds should actually kick back and blast off even more material.
And there's been a few arguments too, which I don't really think they're all that valid. There's some that say, well, we're just seeing an edge on. If we're seeing an edge on, we might not see the tail. But that's
okay. I can understand that. I can see that. And what you're saying basically is, the tail's back that way, like I just did. See, that's what you're saying. So it's traveling in this. Yeah, I don't see that either. But I mean, I guess it could be. Everything on the table. Linda said it just seems weird how it aligned with the WOW signal in the 70s. Thoughts? Yes, there will be thoughts. Let's go to that clip. I believe he talks about that here in just a second. And we're going to talk about that because that was one of the things that Dave, one of the first weird things that Dave notified me on back when we started watching it and paying attention to it, was that, hey, this thing came from they're saying it came from the same area that the WOW signal came from. So I'm like, okay, well, let's watch it. And we have been. let's see, that would be November 5-4 right here, I believe.
We don't see that. The question is what propelled it? And there is no way out. One way or another, we should figure out the nature of the object. If it evaporated, if 20% or so of the mass of the object got evaporated by sunlight, then we will know its nature.
And that's kind of what you were saying, basically, is that if it does do that, then it's comet, right? I mean, we can pretty much just stop with the whole speculation at that point. It's like, this is what it takes to be a comet. If it doesn't, though, you know, we can't ignore the alternatives. And
and I'm jumping ahead on the comments a little bit before you highlight them, but they're very valid comments. I just want to point these out. But
can you highlight anything on your end, or is it just me? You can't.
Yeah, I don't have the control to do that.
I didn't think so. Okay, yeah. I didn't think so.
So
sorry about that. Which one are you wanting? Enzo?
Actually, Enzo, there was a comment he just made at Jen.
All right.
And then I was in the woods directly after him.
All right. I'm going to pull those. Let me get the ones right behind because there's some valid stuff here. Dark Wolf said, what is the least subtle maneuver or exhibition Atlas could do to prove it is technological? That's easy. It can stop.
Yeah.
And I don't mean just kind of slow down. I mean, it can stop, or it can really, 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 really slow down. But either way, right? Exactly. No, you're right. So if it did something like that, then we would know that it's probably technological in nature at that point. I think that would be the easiest way. Let me go down to Enzo. A dime viewed from 2.5 miles away is about equal to 1 arc second. There you go. There's a good example, guys. Yep. Great example. Yep. All right. Next. Let's see. I really do believe it's a magnetism doing more than they expected. Well, we know that it's more metallic, right, Dave?
Yeah.
So with that more metallic comes the possibility that, there's something going on here that's kind of magnetic, that there's some odd behavior that, you know, it's not beyond physics is at this point. Like something, this could be explainable. He's just spewing headlines for headline sales before it's gone. He sends very happy. He doesn't understand this thing, but that doesn't make it unnatural. I think that Avi is getting a bad rap too. This is just my personal opinion. I think what he tried to do genuinely was to make these people understand that, look, you don't know.
Yeah.
We need to have this conversation because one day this is going to happen. Now, that doesn't mean that's what this is, but it means that one day this is going to happen. And when it happens, we got to have a plan. We got to talk about it. We got to stop the giggle, you know, stuff every time someone brings up something, and, you know, with the tinfoil hats and stuff like that. Right. And we see that on all these medias, right, Dave? All these shows are doing the same thing.
Well, it's funny you should say plan, though, because I think there already is one. We just don't know about it.
No, I agree. There's a protocol for everything, and you and me both know this. Let's see who else. God, hang on, guys. I'm getting there. Keep them coming. Every question you ask, every comment you do, everything counts toward the algorithm and pushes us out further for more people to see. And I really would think that it would be better that people see this than what's about to hit the fan tomorrow, because we haven't gotten to the really good part yet. Right, Dave?
Well, exactly. And I do want to repeat one thing. I'm going to go ahead and repeat what Enzo and I was in the woods. Well, you're hitting it. So that's the next one. Okay.
I wonder if something like the Atlas did carry microbial life or organic compounds. How would we detect that? Or could we even know? That's a very good question, right, Dave? I
think it's possible, but I don't know because of the distance. I don't know if it's something they can do at this point. Certain telescopes can point out, like they can see emissions on it that could point that out.
Right. They can tell basically spectrometry, right? They can tell what elements. It's kind of like, well, it's what you do with astronomy, you know, especially like radio astronomy, right?
Exactly. And you know, given that this what did they say, Ron? Did this thing is over 1 billion years old. I can't remember what the exact number was.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's older than our solar system.
It was like 15. Wasn't like 15 billion, close to 15. I mean,
it's 15 or 14.
It was something crazy, but
yeah,
like
it's ridiculous.
If it came from a solar system that was, say, if it was planetary at one point, which it probably was part of a planet, I'm guessing, and maybe perhaps this is just conjecture. Perhaps the sun went supernova, exploded, and everything, and it's everything, and it's under its eye just exploded. And who knows? This could be from something like that.
Yeah, but Krypton. You're saying it's Krypton.
It could, right? Yeah, Superman.
It's a chunk of Krypton. I mean, we're joking about that, but no, that's the kind of thing you're talking about. You're talking about a massive explosion could send this thing hurtling all those years ago.
Yeah. So
Enzo, no, it's off-gassing nickel, more magnetic. So yeah,
that's magnetic. The comment. That's the one.
That one. Okay.
Very good point.
Yeah.
Excellent point.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm going to scroll down through here before we go to the next one. Okay, good question. Why did it turn blue? Well, that could be multiple things, right? So let's think about this thing like this. A lot of people who think that, your comets are basically big, dirty snowballs, right, Dave?
Yeah.
Play with me here because I don't know. I'm just trying to remember stuff that I learned ages ago when I was, playing astronomy. But big, dirty snowballs. What's underneath the snow? What's underneath the ice? How many layers are there? It's kind of like those jawbreakers. It's like a jawbreaker, multiple layers, right? So as one layer wears down, there's another layer underneath. Now that could react differently to the basically to the solar winds, to the radiation. There could be a lot of reasons that a color shift would occur. Is that close? Am I right? Or is that, go back to school?
Yeah. So I looked, it could be like carbonized or like ionized carbon monoxide, for example, from a natural object. But the basically like the gases could become excited and they could cause it. Of course, the fun part of it, if we want to go, hey, it's an alien craft.
Oh, let's go there. Let's totally go there because we need someone to clip this. And then, because, if they clip our stuff and make a little thing, we'll still get credit. So by all means, what is it, Dave?
Well, first, one last part, like some of the compounds that are in this thing too, it could be certain types of reactions, but things we have never seen before. It was sad.
That's why it turned blue.
But,
it was sad.
But it's something that's never been seen before in a comet, in recorded comet history in our astronomy. But the other thing could be,
Yeah. There we go. Heard the same general areas of WOW signal, not the same measurement or location though. Cousinar's here. Welcome aboard. Tails change color because of minerals that get burned off. Yeah. But this thing don't have a tail. So it's a little, it's a lot more extreme. That's what we're getting at, right?
Yeah.
So it could be like ionization. Like this thing could be like a big glowing neon sign of some sort, right?
So some think it could be, if it were unnatural, it could be a hot engine heating up. It could, or it could be some type of artificial light. I think it's. Avi was kind of touching on that,
like the Star Destroyers, those big blue lights they got. Hey, even the Galactica had blue lights. Think about that. I mean, everyone had. The Millennium Falcon had blue lights. Well, we've solved this. It's obviously a giant starship. Q's behind us all. Well, there you go. That's probably it too. Let's see. What do you got? Octo, correct. Has it? Okay. Here's one. Has it done anything that would make it be unnatural? Could it just be some type of interstellar object we haven't seen before? Well, it is an object. It is interstellar. We have never seen this before, and it's done a lot of things that are still possible to be natural, but the probability just keeps going like lower and lower, right, Dave?
So I saw a number today.
Oh, good.
I wish
Let's
I had
hear it.
Pulled up. Oh, do you? Okay. Yeah, I wish I had it pulled up so I could actually quote it. But anyway, there was so the chances of this thing being unnatural, it jumps pretty significantly today.
Oh, really?
Avi actually had put out, and you may have a copy of that, Ron. I'm not sure if it's in some of the documents. Avi had put out a 10-point list from that Medium site he uses.
That's right. What number are we on now?
Well, it's already displayed 10 of those points to some degree. So, I mean, what was that number? God, I cannot remember what the number was now. But it jumped about, I think, an additional 3 to 5% on top of what it already was of being unnatural. But like we said earlier here in the comments here too, what was the question about it? Not let me see if I can go back here. Was it Jen who said that? What was that last comment? My insomnia and lack of sleep is affecting my brain fog. So I'm trying to remember what that comment was exactly.
Well, we've also got extreme solar weather, and that's never good for cognitive responses on some of us.
Yeah.
Also, it gives us terrible headaches. I don't know if you guys out there get that when there's geomagnetic activity, but I do. I get it when there is, and right before it starts, like before it hits Earth, which is weird. I don't know how that works. Probably need to experiment with that and try to figure it out.
But the unnatural part of it, that's it's all right. So that's a funny one though, because Ron, it's like there's enough signatures that it shows it could be unnatural, but yet those could also be misconstrued, because those same things that appear to be unnatural could also be natural because we just don't know enough about it yet.
Right. It's. I mean, in all seriousness, Dave, I'm not using the word for what hype and drama, but this is alien. This is something we've never seen before. This is completely different than anything we've got in our books. I know everybody keeps saying, "Oh, it's just like the other interstellar objects, Oumuamua, et cetera," but it's not. It's doing things completely different. Dark Wolf. If we were able to download a schematic that allowed us to build a machine to take us to Pensacola, Florida, well, Atlas would be something special. There you go. Earth is over 4.5 billion years old. Solar system slightly older. Universe over 15. Yeah, these things are old. That's the thing. Considering the challenge and fluctuations of current magnetic fields. Yeah.
Ron, actually I was going to mention, talking about the universe being over 15 billion years old. Historically, in a textbook, that's textbook correct, But the James Webb, if you recall, they've done enough redensing studies now that they think that number could be off, and possibly significantly off now. But we probably won't hear those scientific papers for quite some time.
Yeah, but they do believe that it's much older, from what I recall.
I think that number's going to jump at some point.
Probably.
Oh yeah.
Well, we have to remember expansion is still occurring. Considering the current fluctuation in magnetic fields, here we go. Even the repositioning of the North Pole, if this item is possibly high iron content, could it not be actually being propelled by not only gravity? I'm sure that says, and there's more of this to come. Let's see, gravity. Let's see, fluctuating magnetic field. Could it not account for its behavior? That's basically what that is. Then yeah, it could. I mean, that's the whole point. If it's magnetic, then it's gonna all these things are gonna interact and affect this thing. Okay, what else we got? If 3i Atlas passed through one or more other solar systems before getting to us, then it may have burned off most of its frozen components and have no tail to show off for us. A very good point.
Yeah.
I mean, for all we know, it could have went through another planet. I mean, that's true, right? I mean, we don't know.
Yeah. And of course, jumping back to the point of the nickel and the iron components of it, having some metals that only shows up in manufacturing to our known science, anyways.
Another question out there. Another question for you, David. It's tagged up there for you.
That's a good question.
Is it more like Centaur asteroid, like the objects we have in the outer solar system? So basically, like the ones in the Oort cloud is what the question. is.
I would say that it's probably very similar to those.
Yeah.
I mean, most of those objects in the Oort cloud are basically our early solar system.
Here's a good
Or
question.
basically formed our solar system.
There's a good question. What are the Vegas odds that it shows alien technology? Yeah, right. No, for real. I'm sure they're there. They're betting on this. There's no question. There are betting pools that are out there right now on this. Not here, but there are.
Yeah. We know earlier in the show.
Strange taco. That's why I have headaches. Yeah, exactly. Geomagnetic activity.
I've been getting a lot of headaches too.
Strange talk. Yeah, that's a theory, though not ascending. Squids, octopus, DNA, strange enough to be panspermia. Basically talking about panspermia, things arriving planet. Okay, next clip. Let me see where I was at. I believe we were on number 5 of the NBC one. Yeah, this is it. And I really do love this. This is probably one of my favorite quotes that he did on this particular interview.
The high-rise camera on board the Mars reconnaissance.
Hang on, because I am insane and did it again. There.
The high-rise camera on board the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter took images of 3I Atlas when it came closest to Mars. That was the 2nd and the 3rd of October, more than a month ago. And I tried to reach out to the principal investigator of that camera. I didn't get a response. And
hey, guess what happened though? Someone got a response, guys. Someone got a response. Just wait till you see.
I corresponded with Representative Anna Paulina Luna, who brilliantly decided to send a letter to the acting administrator of NASA, Sean Duffy. She sent it on October 31st. We haven't heard back from him. However, he immediately responded to a tweet from Kim Kardashian, who asked, what is the tea about 3I Atlas? And he responded to her. And my complaint is that in terms of priorities, he should respond quicker to a letter from Congress or to a scientist who really wants to analyze that data.
You heard it right. You caught that, right? You did get that. Yep. Kim Kardashian. Not Avi Loeb. Well, I mean, let's be honest, Dave. It reminds us of things and sends some of us into PTSD-like symptoms because that's the Kardashians, right? And what they did to Captain Picard, I mean, come on, we still know there are 4 lights to this day, right? Yeah. So yeah, never trust these guys. So, but what's really funny about that, and it's a joke, but it's not a joke because literally what we just saw. Remember the Kardashians. When that whole scene, the 4 lights, right? They were trying to convince Captain Picard. They were torturing him. They were trying to make him say that there were five lights, right? There were 5 lights. There's only 4 lights, but there's, his interrogator was trying to break him and make him say there were 5 lights. That's what that whole quote's from. In other words, they were trying to make him, lie for his own goods. And then
do that.
Well, what's funny about it, man, is that that's literally what we're seeing here. We're seeing, instead of them reaching out to Avi Loeb and the scientific community and providing data, they reached out to a pop star. They reached out to someone who they could use to manipulate people and tell them there are 5 lights. I'm not saying that it's not true. I'm not saying that this isn't a comet. I don't know what it is, but I'm okay saying I don't know. And, looking back at Star Trek, I got another little clip for you because this one, I just happened to find this, dude, while I was doing this, because all these synchronicities happen when you're doing this stuff. Anyone who watches this show knows it. But I found a clip that best describes the current situation of all these people who are running around telling us what this thing is without having all the data in front of them.
Yet this hole has a form. Data has height, width.
Perhaps. Perhaps not, sir.
It's hardly a scientific observation, Commander.
Captain, the most elementary and valuable statement in science, the beginning of wisdom, is, I do not know.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people have forgotten that valuable lesson at this point. They think it's wrong. They think they need to know. They need to say what something is on a constant basis for us. Like we're kids and we can't take the truth. Well, the truth is it's okay to say you don't know. But we're hearing so many of these people who are just telling us what the stuff is, and it's opening up the barn doors for so many conspiracy theories at this point. But unfortunately, my friend, you're going to see this week's newest conspiracy theory is going to be born right here with I believe it was, is it this one? I can't remember if it was this one or not. But he goes on, I think it was Fox is where he went on to, Avi Loeb again. And this is recent. Like this is within the past like 11 or 12 hours. And listen to some of the quotes that he makes here. And then we're going to play another clip and you're going to hear him using the same script again. And this is why people have issues with Avi. And this is why they don't take it seriously. But first things first, let's see this one here.
And nevertheless, 3i Atlas became bluer than the sun, which is surprising. But most interestingly, there was a deviation from the trajectory that it should have taken.
So he's talking about that again, right? That's the same thing.
Yep.
There's a deviation from the trajectory. I want you guys to pay attention to how this is going down. I want you to listen to what's happening.
If its path was shaped by gravity alone. So there was some non-gravitational acceleration that it exhibited. If it's a natural comet, that is a consequence of it getting evaporated. And I did a simple calculation that showed that it must have lost at least a tenth of its mass.
So that's a tenth of its mass. So we did get some numbers here on this. So in other words, it should have a really, really, really big tail.
Yeah, longer
right?
than a lemon.
Yeah, like way bigger. Way bigger, way bigger. And I think he even talks about that at some point here. Let me see.
Starting to get now new images of 3i Atlas. And if it were a familiar comet with the characteristics of a comet where it sheds dust and gas, that dust and gas should have been swept backwards away from the sun by the solar radiation and the solar wind. However, those images that were just released today, they don't show a cometary tail. They just show a blob of light, a fuzz of light around it, the way we saw when it was far away from the sun.
So literally, it didn't really change. That's what he's getting at right there, right? I mean,
yeah,
that's kind of it. Let me find the other one. There's another one. And then we're going to go back to grabbing you guys questions. So please keep asking them. I'm over in another screen right now, and I will come back and start those out, and we will get those posted right up here. If you are just joining us, we are going over the special report. This is the 3i Atlas special report, and we are addressing some of the latest data and trying to get ahead of the forest fires that are about to start here with some of these quotes that you're about to hear. If you do like what you're seeing, just remember we do this every Thursday. Hit that subscribe. And you know what? I learned something, Dave. I learned something very important this week. If you hit the notify, you've got to actually tell it to notify all. I did not know this. Apparently now the algorithm tries to only notify you of content that it thinks that you will enjoy. So by all means, if you enjoy this, and you're watching it every week, it's going to notify you. But if you're new and it doesn't know that you like this kind of stuff, even if you do, it's not going to notify you. So make sure that you do hit the notify all. That's in your options when you do subscribe. And that way you're going to keep up with everything we're doing, because we did some really cool little videos that we're putting up. We got the new series coming out. You don't want to miss that. It's going to be great stuff. Here's the other clip.
We still don't know. I mean, my point is that it should just make us curious. And in the coming weeks, we should be able to figure out the nature of the object, because it will get closest to Earth on December 19th. That's 6 days before Christmas.
Listen, because here is quote number one that you're going to see tomorrow on all these clickbait, titles that you're going to see on social media.
And my hope is that we will not receive an unwanted gift for Christmas, for the holidays, because the last thing we want is for it to send the probes to planets like the Earth.
Now, I thought that was interesting how he ended with the last thing we want is for it to send probes. I wasn't expecting that. I really wasn't expecting that at all.
Yeah, I was trying to. Yeah, I mean, and we would know that December 19th is when it, of course, when it becomes visible. And actually, on the night of December 20th, actually, if anyone's interested on here, we're doing, at least it's local to the Charleston area, we're going to do a public star party out at Camp Virgil Tate.
Oh, nice.
And anyways, so folks could come out there if they want. We don't want to get the numbers too huge out there, obviously, but I'm actually going to try to
summon the mothership. Oh, I'm sorry.
Maybe that too.
Sorry.
I might have something with me, but yeah. I may try to image. I'm going to try to image 3i Atlas. So I'm going to make an attempt. We shall see.
Well, that'd be great. We'll be definitely watching for that. And you know, Avi did leave with one very really good quote on here. As far as with this stuff goes, you know, he's just like, you know, it doesn't matter. And you've heard this before. You've heard us say it a different way, but here's how he puts it.
It is my understanding too that no rocket from Earth is fast enough to reach this thing. So,
no, this is the best part. This is the one you're really going to hear, and you're going to see the headlines coming up for. Ready for it? Get ready for it, because this is going to be a classic.
I mean, are we screwed?
Well, let me answer your first question first. So I'm talking with them about science, because you know, that is the best way for us to gain new knowledge. We should pay attention to evidence, to data that is collected by instruments, because, you know, if we believe stories that people tell us, they're all over the place. And you know, when there is a car accident, different people give you different reports. You can't believe what people are telling you, stories and so forth. And the best path forward is actually collecting data with instruments. That's the scientific method. And then whatever the data shows must be the truth, you know.
Boy, have we heard that before? Have we heard that before, guys? Anyone? Does this sound familiar?
Once you have enough data, it's like a detective story. And, you know, when the Vatican refused to look through Galileo's telescope, that was a big mistake, because they had to correct that mistake in 1992, and they admitted that he was right. So ignoring data is not a good practice, because, you know, whether we move around the sun or the sun moves around the Earth, it's not up to people to tell us. It's whatever is out there, and we should collect data that, and the Earth moved around the sun 4.5 billion times before the Vatican even existed. So just denying that is not a good practice. You want to check the data and figure out what is really the case. If we have a neighbor or not, that doesn't depend on what is the popular view on social media. It really, the neighbor would exist irrespective of what people say.
Yeah. Exactly. The data doesn't care. That's what he's trying to say right there. I'll paraphrase it for you. The data doesn't care. Yeah, it's interesting. I think we're going to hear a little bit about that. I think there's going to be some definite clips made of the rest of that. I'll let you guys go watch that for yourself. It's fun. But there was an update today where he talked a little bit more about you know, about what was going on with it, right? Like, and he went back to NBC to do this one. And I'm going to jump over here before we do that. I'm going to jump back over to our comments and check those really quick, because I see there's a bunch of them. Hang on here. Get a roll back. Let's see. I'm looking down through here and just trying to find questions. If you see any, please let me know, Dave.
This is very far down, because you're probably further back, but
okay.
You know, Copperhead striking. He I mentioned Wormwood, which, you know, that, you know, I know we try to avoid certain conversations of the religious, the political, and all that, but that's a fair question, even scientifically, because Wormwood I mean, it can very much be a real thing. And, if something would hit the earth and poison our waters,
so what you're talking about, let's just go there. What you're talking about is in the book of Revelations. You're talking about the wormwood, which would be cast into the ocean and killing 1/3 of the population, all this stuff, right? If you really look at that, and I've looked at it forever, by the way, the first thing I saw when I read that was that's an asteroid impact.
Yeah.
That is an asteroid impact. Like, it's literally describing in the words and the terms of those days, an asteroid impact or something hitting the earth or the ocean anyway. So, labels. I think that's a pretty valid thing. I think that's definitely something that you have to think about, because, there's a reason we put all those, those things into play, the protocols into play for, the study that they're doing, right? Where they're watching this thing.
Yeah.
There's a reason they're watching this thing.
It's an interesting, because wormwood itself, although it's mostly biblical in the Christian faith, it's also mentioned in other religious texts as well.
Yep.
As there's a lot of similarities. So, we have had things hit the earth. I mean, many, many times over our existence. So,
and they'll happen. It'll happen again. It's a cyclical thing. It's going to. It's not a matter of will it. It's a matter of when will it. And that's part of the nature of being on a planet. Let's see. Anybody else here? I'm going down through here. I've got Linda here. I heard that from the ecliptic alignment plus the multi-planetary flyby, when these two combined, have a 1 in 5,000 chance of happening randomly. Probably there's even better, crazier odds with some of the stuff that's happening. And then you have to look at the odds of it all happening when it happens, right, Dave? Like, it's one thing that one thing has these crazy odds, but when you have like multiple things, it's like when we were out in the field, right? And we did the experiments. Remember when we were out in the field and we did the flashlight experiments, and we did those like multiple times. And we did them multiple times because it was like, there's no way that this can be happening. Yet it did absolutely happen. And for those who don't know what we're talking about, I'm going to play a really quick clip of this because they're over here. Joe had them in the thing, and I just happened to see that. I'm like, this is a great analogy of this, because we sat down after this was done and we tried to figure out what the odds were of it happening alone one time.
And they were reactionary.
Right. Totally. And then with all the other stuff that was happening at the same exact time, it kind of builds up into this mega, chance of what are the odds of that, right?
All right.
Ready?
Go ahead.
Got one. I'm on it. It's moving.
Record it.
Yep, I've got him.
Good
He
job.
just buzzed by an aircraft that mocked Jesus.
Yeah, that's there because that's what it's his favorite clip. So it's always here.
It's a famous.
It is. But when that happened, though, we also received other things, and it would happen multiple times. It happened when we saw the orange orb. You weren't with us on that one. That was when we were at Chief Cornstalk, when we saw this famous piece here. You remember this, right? Everybody's seen it at this point. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So when we saw this thing, there were other things happening as well. Like we were conducting experiments at the same time, and we were receiving things like signals and whatnot, and that we noticed after, and on our data recorders after these things were happening. Now, by itself, it's a weird sighting. By itself, it's a weird sighting. But when you add into, on top of that you've got these other things that are happening, these anomalous readings that are showing up in the data, what are the odds of that? It becomes this cascade effect of how can that be so? There can be so many coincidences. And then you have to ask yourself, well, when can we stop saying it's a coincidence and there's something more going on? And so that's kind of the same thing that's happening here with 3i Atlas. You've got so many weird things that just keep adding up to push it and keep it pointed in the direction of this thing may not be natural. Is that a fair assumption?
I think it is, very much so.
You're grounded in this. You are not one of those people who's like, oh yeah, it's aliens. None of us are, as far as that goes. I know a lot of people think that just because we go out and chase this stuff that we absolutely wholeheartedly believe it. We believe that Zorp and Kargon are going to come down out of the mothership and take us. That's not how it works. We go out in the field, we conduct this research, and we try to get the data, not to prove anything, but to bring the data to the table and let everybody else make up their own mind. That's the whole point of what we do, and that's what the collective does as well. But we don't have a preconceived notion that this is 100% this, it's going to act like this, and we know exactly what it is, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there was actually one of the comments, for the final observation period for this thing, it's going to be around March of this year. So all this information that we need to gather on this thing to figure out what it is, it's got to happen by March. So a lot of these astrophysicists, these scientists they're just screaming to get all the data while they can, unless it turns towards the Earth. Did we lose you, Ron? We might have lost Ron. There he is.
I'm here. 3i Atlas will be heading out toward Jupiter. If it should crash into one of the planets in our solar system, what would be possible? What would the possible implications be for Earth? I don't think there would be any implications, right? I mean,
it's way too far away.
Too far away. Yeah. I think you'd be all right there. It's not going to be, unless it no, even going out, it wouldn't even matter. I don't think. I was going to say if it grazed one of them or something and knocks the ejecta off it. I don't think that would. It would continue.
Well, remember Shoemaker-Levy 9, Ron?
Exactly, Shoemaker-Levy 9. Over what?
Jupiter got pounded.
Yeah, exactly. The chain of pearls impact. Fascinating. I actually got to see that through the telescope in my backyard. Those were big explosions. Here. Yeah, it was fascinating. Changed my. Yeah. And it literally changed my view on the whole thing. I think it changed the world's view. At that point, these things do happen. Earth does get hit. Earth will get hit again. And I think that was very responsible for that.
Can I be a little doomsday, Ron?
You always are. I mean, we expect nothing more from you than to be Doomsday Dave. What kind of harbinging are you going to bring up on us now?
Well, I'm trying to make Jen happy, because I know Jen, she likes to bring up the point of the doom. So I'm shout out to Jen on that one. But we do have Apophis coming up. 2029 and 2036, I believe, is next after that one. They've already said Apophis is probably not. I mean, the probability of hitting Earth is so small, it's probably not going to hit at all.
It's probably not going to hit at all.
But 2036, they say 2036. Now, first there was like a 2 to 4% chance of it hitting. Now they're saying it's not likely. It's pretty low chance. But if we're all alive in 2060, there might be a probable chance of that happening.
Everybody, take your vitamins, okay, and do whatever makes you happy. I guess the rest of us, because we're just gonna live it up, have a party on the beach, just like those. What was that? Deep Impact, wasn't it? I think it was Deep Impact. Everybody's out there watching the comet come in. Yeah,
I think Ron's finding the coffee grounds on the bottom of his cup. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, this is my reminder. I have to have this. This is important. You don't even know how many people that this has literally saved. Every day I got to have my coffee. Tonight I needed it extra. I had a rough day, man. These I guess these solar things are really kicking me, How much observation time is left to try to determine what 3i is? Basically in years, right, Dave? I mean, we
actually no, not even that. Really? Observation times in March 2026.
Are we talking about like observation, or are we talking about long range observation? Because that could be a while, because we're still tracking a Muamua, aren't we?
No, I don't think so. I'll have to look it up. I really don't. I
Really
don't. I
quick.
really can't answer that intelligently.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Okay. Oh my
But as
God, he's
far
not
as
gonna answer your question until he can verify it. That's a radical thought these days, you guys. That's what you pay for when you support Wild and Weird Radio, right there. You folks who are just joining us, make sure that you do hit that subscribe button, and make sure that you hit the like button and all that stuff, because we are zooming up there. We want to hit 3,000 by the end of the year. And surprise, surprise, my friends, when we do hit that 3,000, you're gonna get something really cool. I actually went and looked at it. I didn't look at it. I found it today. I'm going to try to go pick it up this weekend. We'll see if I can get one. It's very cool. It's very much a part of this channel. Anyone who listens to it, and we're gonna do this massive drawing, and someone's gonna win it, you know. And if I can't get it, we're gonna get something just as cool. Let's see, what else do we got? Scrolling. We got Copperhead. The flood of Noah's times was not worldwide, localized, caused by an asteroid landing in the Indian Ocean. Well, you know, I mean, this is, again, impacts happen. And there's a lot of legends that say just that's kind of what we're looking at. We did, what was that one we did a couple of weeks ago? Fallen Worlds Part 5, something like that, where we discussed a lot of that. It was very cool. Let's see. Okay. All right. I'm going to go to this next clip. Because we still got to talk about that crash at Area 51. You guys know there was a crash near Area 51, because that's some big news too. Let's see. Data was ignored. This one here. What's this one? This is. Oh yeah. Look, here's that quote again, guys. I want you to listen, because this is going to be, like I'm telling you, if this doesn't happen, I'll be surprised, but I think it's going to happen, because it's just gold for people who are making clips.
What do you think it is?
I don't know. I think, it's like a blind date with an interstellar object that came from an environment that is alien to us. And I think the key question is whether it's natural or technological. The secondary question, if it's natural, what kind of an environment did it come from? It must be a common environment that produces large packages delivered to our mailbox, and we just need to find out the sender. Either way, it's thrilling, and it's really the reason why science is worthwhile doing, because we can gain new knowledge, and that goes against the tendency of experts to pretend to be the adults in the room that know the answer in advance. Well, guess what? This object is telling the experts, think twice.
That was the wrong clip, but I love that clip. That's probably one of the best ones. Think twice, and he's not wrong. He's absolutely not wrong. This thing has challenged, at this point, it's literally challenged people. So let me check. I thought that was this clip, but let me make sure.
Big update, a huge update.
Gas, and what I'm saying is, there are things we don't fully understand about this object. But in our case of 3i Atlas, it looks like a fuzzy ball of light. There was also a blue.
I can't find it. But either way, it's the same quote. He says it again there, that about the gift, unwelcome gift for Christmas, et cetera, kind of like what he did with Halloween. Remember? Because everybody's saying take your vacation before Halloween. Yeah, that's where that all came from. All right, I'm going back over here to you guys. Rick Skinner, welcome aboard. And Mock Jesus, yeah, that's right. That's Joe's term for really, really, really fast. So Atlas would be treasures, Manhattan size. Let's see. What's this? Chief's Cornstalk is definitely not talked about much. Oh, you must be talking about the special next week. Oh, it will be. It will be.
Yeah.
We're gonna be talking about some good stuff. We're gonna be talking about some really good stuff. The Mothman special is something you definitely want to tune in for, and I'm very excited for this. It's going to be so much fun. We're going to talk about some stuff, and you know what? I might even go over my own, sighting of that Mothman-like thing again, and we might just do it, very methodically and try to tell that story the way it happened. I don't know. Let's see.
Well, Ron, I do have an update for you for
Oh.
everybody else.
Wait, do you like live?
No, yeah, on a Muamua question.
Oh yeah, what you got there? What you got there?
Okay, so I went and while we're sitting here, I went and kind of did some verification to make sure. So yeah, Muamua actually we lost visibility not long after it went out the solar system. Once it was gone, it was not observable. So the confusion so for sake of confusion, so with both the Muamua and this current object, as well as any other comets we may see similar in the future, hopefully, maybe. Once they're out of the observation field, though they're no longer observable, the amount of data that we collect on those could take years, to basically stack it up to put our actual scientific journals out. So we're still not seeing a whole lot of released information on Muamua yet. There's still not a lot they've put out there in the scientific journals. And so it'll be, 5, 10, up to 15 years, they'll be putting stuff out probably on both of these objects. So it's probably, it's probably trillions, of pieces of data. Terabytes and terabytes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, probably is. Let's see what else we got going on over here. I was going through here. Okay, guys, we do appreciate you coming in here and asking your questions and posting and whatnot. Do not spam the board, though. That will result in pretty much, it'll ban you. It'll kick you right off. So do not do that. I know there was someone who showed up there for a second and now they're gone. And that is unfortunate. I don't like that. Yeah, I got to be able to read your questions. So let's see. Here we go. And yes, I do hope that it is something that is coming to bring us love and some peace on Earth, because my God, we need it. I don't think anybody's going to disagree with that. Ashley just got off the phone with a Mothman witness. It has been 2 years since I've gotten any reports, and suddenly I'm getting a lot. What did you do, Ron? Ashley, it's that time of year. That's all I'm going to say. It's that time of year. Pay attention to what happened last year around this time. We're going to open the portal. No, I'm kidding. We're not. Ron's been wrestling the Mothman. Jimmy's. Actually, Jimmy, I'll give credit. I don't know if he's here. I don't think he's here. Spooky Appalachia has managed to get us a couple of, well, he got us at least one witness who's going to be recounting their encounter here. So that'll be really cool. I've got some that have been sent in. And like I said, we've got some a special guest who is going to be joining us one way or the other. And it's going to be really cool, really cool. Joe was abducted by the Greys in a beam of light, then handed over to the reptilians. No.
Joe was abducted so hard he's green right now.
Oh my God. Von Devon. Yeah, there you go. It's getting cold. Make sure to bring your Mothmans in. Yeah, make sure you bring those Mothmans in. I agree with you on that one. 100%. And you know what? They really can use a nice cup of coffee. They like coffee. You know what else? I got to bring this up. Because I was in the store the other day and I found something. Check this out. You folks know that the Christmas stuff's out there, right? Like, the coffee and stuff, right?
Oh God.
Well, okay. Well, the Christmas cakes everybody gets. Oh yeah. Well, I'm not really a terrible fan of those things, but check this out. Oh, sorry. That's donuts. That's donuts. That's Christmas cake tree. This is the Christmas tree stuff, but it's donuts. And how do I even explain this to you? What it tastes like? It's not just the real soft. This is a donut, but it has the stuff. Look, I'll show them to you. We're gonna take a break for just a second while I show you a donut. Here,
are they magic donuts?
These are amazing, dude. I'm not kidding you.
But are they magic?
I've got these things. I hid them in there, in the cabinet. These are mine. These are my donuts. And I don't, I like donuts, but I don't really buy these too much anymore. But when I saw these, I'm like, I'm going to get these and I've got to try them. Well, I can tell you right now, this thing is delicious. Okay. So Yeah, I'm not sponsored by. We're not sponsored by Little Debbie, but we could be. But
Do they give you the diabetes?
no,
Okay.
no, they don't. Oh, well, sorry, guys.
See, look at Ron being all rude, eating with his mouth open. I tell you.
I couldn't not eat that. Sorry. Okay.
You didn't share them with me.
No, I didn't. Not even virtually.
Disappointed.
Right. Okay. So anyway, now that the donut break's over, please make sure that you do like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Share the donuts. I know, Rick, you got to find you. I'm not kidding you guys. If you like these things, you've got to find these donuts. They're delicious. They are delicious. And with coffee, oh man, best ever. Okay. So let's get back to work. So we've got some news about Area 51. Right, Dave?
We do.
Yeah. Something apparently crashed at Area 51, or not at Area 51. I'll take that back. Something apparently crashed near Area 51, but it crashed on public land. Yet,
just outside the boundary.
Right, just outside the boundaries. And our old buddy out there, George Knapp, right on top of everything, right, goes out and interviews one of the guys who actually was probably the first out there to really investigate this in real time. He's one of those guys who sits around and basically spies on Area 51, because that's the thing. People do this. It's not a wrong thing either, because there's some weird stuff out there. But I got that report, and I'm going to play a little bit of that for you. I cut it down, so it's kind of like edited a little bit for us, so we don't have to watch the whole thing. Besides, I want you all to go and watch the whole thing anyway, the whole news report. But here's that clip. I want you to see this. This is crazy for you who don't know this, and this comes into play because there was a video that went around earlier this year, and some were saying that was a test of this thing that they were testing on Area 51, but it turns out that's not the case either. After some digging, we found out there's a little bit more about that story and how this all goes together. So let's go to Area 51 and let's watch this.
The 80 Show investigators telling you for several weeks now about a mysterious object of unknown origin that fell from the sky and crashed just near Area 51. And tonight, the public is still in the dark.
So that crash was quickly covered up, both literally and figuratively. 8 News Now Chief Investigator George Knapp thinks the official story, as told by the military, is false.
Well, how quickly might the government respond to a crash of an unknown object? What happened back on September 23rd on public land outside the boundary of Area 51 is a textbook example of.
Now, what's amazing is this happens this is the same playbook they've used, Dave. This is the crazy part. Everything he's about to say here, everything that he's going to say has literally been recorded. They've done this, and here they are doing it again. So watch this. Just watch this.
How crash retrievals work, and to no one's surprise, pretty much everything told to the public since then is pure fiction.
You can see this in F-18.
Scanners and computers inside this room listen to and record radio traffic inside Area 51 round the clock. On the morning of September 23rd, York Arnew heard some astonishing news. Arnew learned there'd been a large but totally secret air operation in the middle of the night and that something had gone wrong.
So we just had an asset go down. We had an asset go down. This is not Creech security, this is Area 51 security. And they had an asset go down. And then the next thing.
Yeah, clear. Also, short be advised, is the UAV unmanned aircraft with ordnance.
Not only was
with ordnance. That's interesting, huh? So some kind of unmanned drone weapons platform, possibly. Who knows? But the fun part happens later.
Area 51 itself locked down, but within a very short time, so too was a large swath of the Tikaboo Valley. Arnew jumped in his truck and headed south from his home in Rachel. But while driving on what's known as Mailbox Road, he ran into an armed patrol. backtracked and headed south on the ET Highway to Groom Lake Road, the main entrance to the base. It too was blocked off by sheriff's deputies and military security. A military helicopter with an attached basket was sitting there, presumably ready to haul out wreckage of something. A pair of porta potties suggested the team planned to be there for a while. After being turned away from the presumed crash site, Arnu and the aerospace sleuths on his website, dreamlandresort.com, began gathering and sharing bits and pieces of information. The FAA had ordered the closure of airspace over a particular spot in the valley.
So they basically closed off the entire valley, and this is public land, right, Dave?
Yeah, while we were watching this, I looked it up to see what the exclusion zone was. I've not really heard that number. I did find the exclusion zone number.
Okay.
So the exclusion zone was approximately 12 miles from this crash, and this may come up, so I apologize if I'm jumping ahead, but the FAA did put temporary flight restrictions in this vicinity, probably outside the 12 miles.
Yeah,
So-
that's what I think that's what he's talking about right now, actually. So you're 100%. You're 100% on that.
That was a big clue. Then 4 days after the crash, the security teams vanished. Arnu went back out for a look. The Air Force had used heavy equipment to plow a dirt road across a section of desert. Arnu followed it and found what he thought was the crash site, then shared it online. That's when things got strange, even by Area 51 standards.
I cannot believe that they did this. Watch this, and then we're going to try to figure out why. Why in the world would you do this?
A second wave of cleanup crews descended on the site, presumably to pick up any remaining debris, but they also used graders to cover the entire area with a thick layer of dirt, literally a cover-up. Creech Air Force Base, which is home to a fleet of Reaper drones and other UAVs, issued a statement explaining that the, quote, unmanned aircraft was one of theirs. The same statement claimed someone had been tampering with the crash site and had scattered assorted pieces from other aircraft, along with an inert training bomb. The Air Force said the FBI was investigating this alleged tampering at the site. Arnu was amused but not convinced.
The only thing they could get that person for is littering on public land.
He's right. That's literally what they said in that statement. They have no case. It's literally that. So why would you bring that up? It just comes down to disinformation, part of the cover up, but it really gets weird after that part.
Arnu drove back out and realized the site he first videotaped was a staging area, not the crash site. 200 yards away, the telltale burn marks on Joshua trees indicated this was where the object slammed into the earth. Both he and another aerospace explorer found pieces of who knows what, debris that came from something other than a drone, seemingly planted to confuse anyone who came looking. But they also found pieces under the dirt that are likely the real thing.
So they scattered stuff, at this site. They buried it, then they scattered it some more. They went in and basically, this is the same thing. If you've seen any of the alleged, was it from Socorro, New Mexico? The whole talk about how they covered that area up. Same thing they did. So allegedly at Roswell. Why are you using the same techniques? These are things that are known in the lore and in the literature of ufology. Why would you not change that game up?
And the other thing too on that, if the evidence is obviously being faked, which it appears it is, since it's meaningless to defend. I mean, on the flip side, it could be a new type of technology we have that is actually it's Earth-based. It's us. It's not alien technology. It could be a thing where they have a new material, like I believe it was the B-2 bomber, like these stealth jets. The paint that they have on those, to my knowledge, is still classified.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it's absolutely classified. Yeah.
So that could be the situation with this. I mean, it's a good chance it's probably us, something new they're developing. It crashes and to throw people off the scent from the classified part of it. Maybe they're throwing stuff in together, perhaps.
It's literally the same thing that they've been doing That was my whole thing at it. But
Exactly.
what's really crazy about it is there was some video that started showing up, recently, and it's this one. I'm just going to play the video. I just have the clip of it. It's this guy on TikTok shows it, and he's saying that this is a test at Area 51. Oh wait, I did it again. There we go.
Did it again.
See that? So he's saying that this is a test near Area 51, and there it is. The thing is up on this pylon, and it's been tested, and it's rotating, and all this, right? And he says that he basically snuck into the area, and he got all this footage at Area 51. However, I did some research on this, and I found out that is not the case at all. In fact, this appears to be someone who has gone in and taken this guy's, basically taken this footage, sped up his vocals for whatever reason, and put a fake title over it, basically, and reposted on TikTok for views and likes and whatnot. In fact, there is the statement right there. As the title stated above, it was posted by a guy on TikTok. Sorry, I know. The show shows what he claims was an Area 51 test. Now the video is deleted, but his other three part leading up to it are still there. Not claiming what is true. Just looking for answers. Well, you scroll down here and this guy answers right. That's his video. That's his video. But look, he didn't shoot it at Area 51. Apparently someone took and pitch shifted my voice. It is indeed the Lockheed Skunk Works facility in Hillendale. And let's see. Yeah, he has a YouTube link and whatnot. He actually verified everything that he's saying, by the way. It's 100% true. And I got one better for you. I did a little bit more research on it, and I found pretty much just the proof. Here you go. Look familiar? This is where it's at. This is the Skunk Works in Hillendale, and that is a test pylon that they put these stealth aircraft on to test them. It doesn't show up on radar, so it's perfect for testing these things with radar systems and seeing if they can mitigate radar and so forth and so on. So this is, in fact, literally probably the same rig, just used at a different time, but yeah, it's not Area 51. This isn't from Area 51. That's didn't happen. So yeah, I thought that was a really neat little story on that, and I thought that that was it's something we got to watch for, because a lot of people share this stuff and they have no idea. They think that it's legit, that what they're sharing is fact. Now here it is. Here's one with the Dark Star. See, that's a real thing, by the way. That is the RQ-3 Dark Star right there being tested, and an F-22 over here being tested. So this thing's really big. It comes up out of this underground thing. It kind of pops up or somehow, because he actually had video of that happening as well. But yeah, it's where they test all the really cool toys, apparently.
And there's multiple, and we talked about this earlier, but there's multiple military facilities in that whole vicinity. I mean, you have Area 51, you have 52. I believe I was looking up, I'm probably getting these numbers wrong because there's so many numbers. I think it was Area 4, 6, and 15. And then you have some of these privately owned, like, Skunk Works in some of these places. So there's a lot out there. Like someone said there in the chat, there's a lot of land area out there that BLM owns. So among all that being a land, you have all this acres of facilities, a lot of them being underground too. So yeah.
And of course, the famous S4 and all that stuff, right? There was something else that was kind of weird in the news that you found for me today that you were talking about. Do you have the link for that by any chance? You can pop up here for these folks.
Which one was it?
That was the Chinese incident.
As far as the, let me see. I think I still have that pulled up. Yeah, I do have it pulled up. This is off MSN. And
yeah, that's probably what those were. Those were portal potties. That's exactly what those were. They should have jumped through them. They would have probably mysteriously appeared, in the base. That's how you get in the base, Area 51, I think, through the portal potties.
Okay, Ron. So I just sent you the link here in the private chat because it will not let me post in comments. It's basically treating me as spam.
You are spam. You've always been spam. Hang on a second. Let me find it. Okay, let's find it. Did you send it? Okay, Dave.
Yeah.
That's not it. What's that?
Go to the very bottom of the private chat. You'll see it in this.
I don't see it. Why do I not see it? Hang on. It's not showing it to me.
Here, I'll send it to you through Facebook.
Shit. Yeah, I'll send it through Facebook. Oh, I see it now. Yeah, I see it now. Here, I got it. I got it. Copy that. Here we go, guys. Check this out. This is interesting. Dave found this for us right before the show went live, actually, just like literally minutes before the show went live. And I was like, oh, we need to talk about that. Look, Holmes, look at you out here giving us blessings. So you know what? I'm going to throw a blessing right back at you, too. Let's see. I don't know if you guys noticed. I don't think you're seeing too many ads tonight because I'm only going to turn this on after the show is over so we can actually get as many people in here and keep them in here and watching the show and trying not to be distracted. So let me find, and this right here is how we do it. Luke, let me find you a blessing. You know what? I know which one we'll use. This is one of my favorite ones. This is literally one of my favorite ones because it's just actually peaceful. So Luke, everybody else out there, close your eyes, take a couple of deep breaths in, breathe out, and listen to the rain of sky daddies. So refreshing.
Let's see here. Yeah, I like what Luke has to say on that. He's talking about. Did you find it yet?
I'm looking. Trying to go here. Palmdale. That one?
Yeah, I think we've talked about that facility before. That particular area. What was it here? There was a UAP related incident to that facility.
There's a lot of wacky stuff out there. Yeah, there's a lot of wacky stuff out there. I mean, there's a lot of wacky stuff hidden in places that, people just don't think about. I mean, West Virginia is one of them, right? I mean, look at that. Look at the hills. There's all kinds of stuff around here.
As we've learned over the years, the best place to hide things is right in plain sight because nobody thinks to look.
No, exactly. I mean, it's right there in plain sight. Like, you'd be surprised what's in some of the national parks, probably.
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, the Greenbrier Resort in West Virginia is a good example of that.
Great example. Yeah. Have to hop off for the night, but thanks all for this. Have a good night. I'll watch the rest tomorrow. Strange Talk. Thank you for being here. And don't forget, next week will be the Mothman episode. And it will be, I promise you, unlike anything that you've seen so far. Let's see. What else do we have going on? Yeah, there you go. UAP and NHI labeled in Palmdale. Okay. All right.
We need to mention it, Ron, and it's going back a little bit, but the Chinese image.
Yes.
3i Atlas.
Yes, that's true. Let me find that, Dave. I actually have this. I forgot about that. I completely forgot about that. We got off a little bit off track, off course, but the show, we don't really run it scripted. We just have a little guide that kind of helps us point it along. And sometimes we get out there in space and we end up doing something completely different. But let me find that because you're right. That is significant. So let's.
One of our viewers commented on it earlier, and I was going to bring it up, but we got off on a tangent. Which
well, the question is exactly why. What's going on, because we're not just dependent upon NASA, right? I mean, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
So let me find that for you, and I'll let you know. As far as China goes, because we know that China had eyes on this thing. China number. Oh, yeah, here we go. Oh, I did that wrong. I swear. Who wants to come do my job for me? This is ridiculous. Okay.
It's kind of a blurry. It's it's not that one, but it's. Oh, is it? Wait a minute here. That is a different one that I'm seeing, Ron.
Okay. Well, this is one, and basically it's going to say the same thing. They pretty much stopped tracking this thing after it passed by Mars.
Let me send that link to you, Ron. The other one, in case you don't have it. All right, that's another MSN article, but I just sent it to you through the chat and Facebook.
All right. Copy that. Let me go look at it real quick. Pop it up here. Chinese spacecraft around Mars back. Intrigue gift. Okay, here we go. Oh, yeah. So, and it says basically in an awesome space-based surprise, China's Tianwen-1 orbiter has sent back an intriguing photo of interstellar comet 3I Atlas taken from the orbit of Mars. Yup. Let's see.
If you scroll down, that article actually has some more stuff in there. There's a really good video in there from space.com. It's some of the stuff we've already seen, but the movement's interesting to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and copy this and put it over here for you folks to go take a look at. But basically, they haven't been watching this thing, and I don't know why. I mean, they say that's because they're focusing on basically their moon program, right? Their lunar program, and that's where they're putting all their resources. Don't make sense to me because you can just hit your copy that link and paste it, and you can see that article. It doesn't make sense to me that if this thing does turn out to be something that you're more interested in a lunar program than possibly identifying something else.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's really weird. We also have that letter. I just saw it just a second ago. I'm trying to find that for you. That where'd it go? Yeah, it's right here. I think this is it. Nope, that's not it. No, anyway. I thought I had the statement back from where Representative Luna got a response. Oh yeah, here it is. Here it is. I do got it. Oh, I'm in the wrong screen again. Oh my gosh, dude, I swear. I got it though. Here we go. It's right here. Yeah, here it is. So this was after Kim Kardashian got her answer, and everybody was trying to figure out why in the world you haven't responded to, Congress or Avi. Well, Representative Luna says that just had a good conversation with NASA regarding 3I Atlas. As soon as the government reopens, they'll be releasing images, data. Unfortunately, due to bureaucratic reasons, they cannot until then. Dr. Loeb, a Galileo project, was correct in his early analysis of the abnormal tail. NASA has also noted this. I'm sure this will be one of many interstellar objects that we will be able to. I can't read the rest of that because there's something in the way. Hang on. That we will be able to track now that technology has advanced. That's kind of a catch-all answer, don't you think, bud?
It is. It's also never a straight answer.
Yeah, that's not a straight answer at all. That's kind of like, well, we'll get back to you.
Yeah,
we'll get back
to
you.
Remember, and we have NASA, we have India,
the
of course, the European Space Agency, of course, obviously us.
Yes.
Canada has their own space agency,
Yes.
which I don't know how involved they are with a whole lot of stuff, but. And then I'm sure we have some in South America as well.
Don't trust that Chinese image. It's probably from an Iranian mothership. That's a good callback. That's a good callback, Octo. Love it. Love it. Jordan says
Interesting.
Mothman.
Oh, sorry.
Because everything is. Everybody just say Mothman. Just say it.
The interesting thing about that Chinese image, they did stack several images into one to show the movement. I'm sitting there looking at it right now, and it is wild to look at because there's no visible tail at all.
Well,
you can see the glow from the rear of it. It looks like there could be a small, teeny tiny tail.
Nope. That's the exhaust port, bud. That's the exhaust port.
Everybody
knows that's where you fly in and you launch the torpedoes. See, that's because everybody builds their giant space station, destroying space station with a little tiny, spot that you can hit and just blow the whole thing up.
And we do have some Chinese astronauts stranded on their space station right now.
We do. So. They got hit by something. Those Chinese astronauts got hit by something. What in the world, Dave? We've got giant, rocks or motherships, whatever they are. And then we've got our Chinese astronauts getting pelted by unknown debris. But let's be real here. There's so much junk in space. It surprises me they don't get hit by something.
Yeah. I mean, as they say, like I'm going to be doomsday for a second, at least for the astronauts.
Here we go again. Oh, okay. Well, that's different.
Teeny tiny little, just a little tiny rock. It's not even, I mean, you couldn't even hold it between your fingers barely.
Yeah.
One of those, it goes so fast, if it would puncture the space station, they would lose air, which it's probably happened a few times. They probably have had to fix punctures before, I'm sure. So
yeah, absolutely.
So and thinking about the Chinese, I know, worldwide there's obviously some issues with the Chinese government and everything that happens and stuff, but to be fair, there's still scientists in China just like there is the U.S. and anywhere else. So,
what people don't realize, David, is that regardless of political tensions and all this, those scientists are still working together. This is a world thing, right? So that's what concerns me more than anything, is that we're dealing with multiple nations now who are sitting on this data, and they will not release this data. They can stop all this. They can stop all this speculation. It's like they want the speculation, Dave.
I think they do, and for what reason? You could come up with a few different reasons, but it still makes no sense from a scientific standpoint.
No, it makes zero sense. It's like, what are you doing here? Is this part of your cover-up? Is this part of disinformation? What in the world is going on? And how is the entire world, literally, these are all, what do they call it? They call it the, I can't remember what it's called. The something nations. I don't remember. It's, what I'm talking about. It just really started getting thrown out there a couple years ago. Like, we should know what it is, and we've never heard about it before. The 5 nations or whatever it is. But anyway, the 5 I nations or something to that nature. It sounds like something out of a sci-fi film, but it's real. And that's our allies basically that we're working with. But here's the thing: we don't just work with our allies; we work with everybody. Yeah. So that's the thing. And we were talking about this earlier. And, you said that basically everybody would have to agree before a monumental sort of proclamation were made on this thing, right? If it did turn out to be something else, everybody would have to agree on this.
Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, most scientists around the world, they're going to be compiling information, just like they do with with ground-based telescopes, whether it be radio or visual. They work together to compile information. They get there a lot of time to do whatever they're going to do for these telescopes, and they may spend years on compiling this data before they can confidently release something that's factual, because they don't typically like to release stuff beforehand where it could be questioned. They have to know what it is, typically speaking. But now, unfortunately, we're in a situation in the world now where, right now on the Chinese space station, now they're allowing the Russians on that space station as well. So the Russians and the Chinese are working together, and because of all the unfortunate political divisions around the world, there's probably things that they're keeping to themselves that they're not telling other scientists. That's unfortunately, and I said, I don't absolutely do not want to get into politics, but that's not what we want to do. But we do have to point that out, that because of the political divisions in the world.
Well, world politics are fine.
Yeah.
We know that there are nations that are keeping secrets. We know that there are nations that are involved in a sort of a, what did Grush call it? A UFO Cold War, UAP Cold War, he said.
Yeah.
That, you know, they're fighting to get this technology, and it's mine, and whoever wins it is going to be the one who basically gets the prize here. Well, the problem being is whoever gets this is probably going to have more power than anybody in known human history has ever had at their disposal if it turns out to be something non-human. Isn't that about accurate to say?
It is. And you know, and one thing I do want to point out too, even though the Russian and Chinese governments are kind of keeping things to themselves for the most part, they're sharing some things. But what people have to understand too, and I think most everyone here gets this, is I'm not telling anybody anything they don't already know, but when you have like, well, for example, when I'm doing amateur astrophotography, and I try to do some studies with this stuff as well. I mean, I have quite a few friends that are actually in China, that are in Russia, that you know, obviously they're speaking in English because I can't speak their language. But you know, I have several friends that I talk to that do astrophotography, where some of these companies like ZWO is one that I use regularly, and I'm friends with some of the people in that company. And we love sharing information with one another. But then when you get to the government level, when it's the governments are controlling what's getting out there, they can release what they know, but unless they're affiliated with their government, you know, not even they hear that information.
Sure, absolutely. So, it makes perfect sense, you know.
They want to work with us as much as we want to do with them, but it's their leaders don't allow them to.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what it is. I mean, you know, it's kind of like back during the Cold War. You know, everybody thought, oh, those evil old commies over there, they're going to get us all, and you know, and yeah, there were the people who were going to do that, but we know for a fact. I knew Russians. I knew many Russians. I had a decent a customer who was from Russia, and the dude was just awesome, you know. And you have to realize these are people. They're people who are caught in the tide of what's going on in their countries. But the thing is, you can choose not to swim. You really can. You can choose to kind of work with others and to talk with others and to seek that as an alternative. And you know, if enough people are doing that, things change. You know, it doesn't have to be about these, you know, like they're doing in these other countries, these revolts and all that. You don't have to do all that crap. All you got to do is just stop. Stop and just grab each other's hands and you know, start singing Kumbaya if you want to. I don't really care. But the point is, we have a lot more in common than we have probably with what might be out there. Right, Dave? Like potentially, because we know that there is something out there at this point. I mean, it's pretty much it's a given at this point.
One of the beautiful things about astrophotography, and then you get into the science part of it, in this hobby, which has become more than a hobby for me. It's become a lifestyle more or less. But I have friends from all over the world, as most of us probably do. But from all over the world, I mean, from countries that are considered enemies of the U.S. And I have friends in Iran. You know, I mean, they're good people. There's good people everywhere.
This is a very good point. This man gets no credit. I can't remember his name. We talked about him before. We all have a good-hearted Russian to thank for our very lives. This is the truth. The man who refused to initiate a nuclear response when a radar showed a false nuclear barrage. Yep.
Oh yeah,
that's 100% true. I do believe that was a nuclear submarine commander, if I remember correctly, refused orders to launch. If he would have launched, that would have been it. It was over. Done.
DEFCON 1.
Yep. Instant. And there's no question. I mean, we would not be here if it wasn't for that man refusing to follow orders. So think about that. You always have a choice. You always have a choice. I'm reading some of your comments, folks. Keep hitting those keep commenting, keep hitting those likes and, you know, all those reactions as well, because that, like, again, that keeps our algorithm up there and keeps more people seeing it. Yeah, someone had noticed there's not as many ads. Yeah, there isn't, because I have them turned off right now. I did that because I wanted more people to actually stay and watch this, because the information was so important. We were trying to get through, you know, people just not clicking away. It's important information, and it's going to become important, more important in the coming weeks, in my opinion. So you're going to be going back and you're going to be referencing this and saying, I'll be darned, that's what they said. And I'm saying that because pretty much that's how it's been playing out so far. I mean, George's watching the patterns, and, you know, but the patterns are showing us that, again, this could be leading up to something very different. Right, Dave?
And yeah, I want to point out, like, you talking about the nuclear part. It's like, you know, right now, because of the world political climate, as we all know, now the U.S. is going to follow Russia because of some things Russia has done, and probably North Korea, that they're going back to doing nuclear testing again. Now, I have not heard anything if they're going to try to do like live nuclear testing and like actual warheads, or if it's just going to be on a smaller scale. But that's a very scary thought that's happening right now.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're good. No, you're fine. No,
this is what I meant to do. Sorry, there we go.
So it's like when the nuclear bombs were dropped in World War II. You know, there was an uptick in sightings, and now with this coming up now, if we start actually testing nuclear bombs again, which should terrify everyone, honestly, then it makes you kind of wonder if we're going to start seeing these sightings again.
Well, it makes me kind of wonder if, and I'm going to go in speculation land with you on this, guys. This is complete speculation, okay? When I first heard this, I'm like, okay, there's really only a couple reasons that you're going to do this. One is because you think that you have nuclear superiority, meaning that mutually assured destruction doesn't exist anymore and you can survive this. Or two, you need those weapons, or you think you need those weapons for something else. And you have to make sure that those weapons work, because, as you stated, we haven't tested those things forever. Okay. It is the only, right now, that is our most powerful asset that we know of publicly, right? There's probably something else, but publicly, that's what we know of. And we would, you know, if say there is something coming or there's something that we need to address, we already know that they've said, Dave, in the next few years that we may have to blow an asteroid up.
Yeah.
That's a fact. That's a fact. That's the one that's heading for the moon now, right? But that's a fact. They say that we may have to do that. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying.
Testing's scary.
Yeah.
I mean, there was the Castle Bravo test, which they never intended for that to be as large of a test as it was. It was like like 15 megatons.
Yep.
I think it was 1954, I believe it was, and then and the yield was only supposed to be like, I think, 3 to 5 megatons, which was approximately what dropped on, you know, Hiroshima and of course in World War II.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. We actually wrote a song back in the day. You remember it? It was On Every Corner. And that's what it was about. It was about the Cold War and where we grew up in the Cold War, and that's kind of what it was always talking about. And you know, the chorus was "Never Again They Cried." Remember that? But it all stayed the same. And it's true. It's true. It all stays the same because everybody goes back to the same mentality of, you know, wanting to be the big kid on the block, wanting to have the biggest stick on the block, right? Because that's humanity. We the biggest and we're the baddest. The truth is we don't know what we are. The truth is that we may not even own this planet. That's, again, speculation, but it's based upon available data. And it's available data for anyone to go out there and wants to look, okay? We've seen things at this point that we can't explain. This is a fact, okay? You can go back and watch Paranormal Horizons. You can go back and watch the stuff that we've done here. You can, you know, keep watching some of the stuff we're getting ready to release. There's things there that literally make me scratch my head and say, how is this even possible? Because it should not be. I have to put that aside. We all have to put that aside. Me and Joe have sat and we have argued. You've been with us on some of these, and we have argued about, look, this can't be here, but it happened here. What does that mean? And you don't really want to jump to the conclusion that you're dealing with something that's intelligent, but man, I swear to you, that's what it looks like. And the data says that if that's the case, it's not necessarily physical, at least not always, which means that it may be here. In other words, it may have always been here, and this could very well be its planet, its origin. I don't know. We could be, offspring of them. We don't know.
It takes us back to Mars.
Right. And that's why we need to take care of these things. You just said that there was some more interesting discoveries about Mars recently.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think this discovery is too recent, but what they, what is it? They found on Mars, like for the nuclear.
Yeah.
Basically, you probably remember better than I do, because I don't have anything.
It was Xeon. They discovered an enormous amount of Xeon, and you only get that with pretty much
nuclear fallout.
Yeah, massive nuclear fallout.
Of course, there is in science and physics that if you have a large enough uranium deposit, that a source of, say, running water, it can act as its own self-fusion. So that's a possibility. That's a possible explanation.
Right there, Jordan. Thank you. That's the truth. The government keeps us apart. It's not the people. That's right.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a perfect wording.
We can't fall into that. That's why this group of people we're just different. Okay. And I don't mean that as like, oh, we're some superior group. No, we're not. This group of people can have these conversations and not argue. They can sit at a table and they can present data and not smack it out of someone's hand and say, you're wrong. We are smart enough to know that we don't have all the answers, and we can talk about that openly. We did it. We did it at the collective meeting. We sat in a room, all of those different researchers sat in that room, watched the presentations of data that were made, and they said, hey, could that be this? Hey, could that be that? And not a single person said, mind your own business. This is our data. They said, that's interesting. Let's get back to you on that. Let's find out. That's how science works. That's how peer review works. And that's what we need in our field. That's what we need in these things. This isn't a hobby for us. I know a lot of people think, oh, that's your little hobby. I remember reading some of the comments that we got back on Paranormal Horizons. They're like, oh, that's cute. You guys go out and spend that much money on your little hobby. I'm like, it's not a little hobby. This isn't a little hobby. It's never been a little hobby. This is it's a job. It's a job that we put ourselves into. It's a job that doesn't pay. It doesn't. There's no pay to this. No one in their right mind would do this. That's a fact.
There's a lot of implications to all this. I mean, major implications.
There really is. And the people who are actually getting paid for this kind of stuff, question them. Question what they are actually doing. Because when you're out in the field, no one's paying you to be there. That's not how this works. You do it because there's a drive. You do it because you have to get out there and you want to solve the mystery. It's maybe we watched too much Scooby-Doo growing up. I don't really know what it is. I'll be honest with you, but there's a drive there that keeps us all going and pointing us in that direction. And then, when you bump into all these people, we got 3,000 people here now, but almost 3,000 people. You believe that? And they keep coming back.
Nice.
That's a good group of people.
It must be your good looks. It must be.
It's definitely not.
Maybe Joe's good looks. I don't know. Maybe Joe's the good looking one.
It's probably that. Yeah. It's probably that and his reference to mock Jesus all the time. But yeah, no. And that's the whole point, though. We really have to just keep sharing this data and getting it out there. Very important to do this and to keep it going. And Octo. Well, you see, that's why we have to find ourselves an Indiana Jones Crystal Skull fund. Okay, an expedition for the power. Then we can become the Sith. That's a good analogy, I guess. Yeah, so we can just have absolutes, right? I call Tibbs on 3i Atlas Sith Holocron. Oh Lord, you guys are awful. Mystic Western Coast. There we go. I'm trying to find some more stuff for you guys. Let's
yeah, we take a little bit of a serious turn on the conversation tonight, but even though we joke around a lot, there are things that warrant serious conversation. I mean,
oh yeah,
so
I mean, it's a fact. It's a fact, and these things are serious, and yeah, I see some of these comments, and they scare people. They get negative, and the thing of the matter is, I grew up in the Cold War. We did too. We all did. A lot of us. We saw the patterns. We watched it. There was days when we really believed that's probably going to be it. This week will probably be it. Well, there'll be a big bright flash outside, and that's it. We're done, right? And then, for all of our worrying and anxiety that we did, we never stopped to think about our parents who actually lived during the time of the Cuban Missile Crisis, when it literally could have been that. Literally could have been that. And it's just like you have a whole new perspective when you look at that stuff. It's like we've always been in fear. We've always been in fear of something. And, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I couldn't tell you that. I'm not a prognosticator. There you go. I did it. So, yeah, right. I know. I can't tell you how this is going to play out. There are those who say they've had visions, et cetera, et cetera. I've had a few of them myself, but they're just that. They're not the future. And, we have a lot of those people who've had contact type experiences, right, Dave? And a lot of those people, they'll quote that right from the early days. They were talking about, nuclear war. They were talking about, if you don't get this right, this is going to happen. They were always giving us warnings. Yeah. I mean, did it ever occur to anyone that, maybe that was a warning?
One thing that has kind of occurred to me, though, is I think we're getting to where we can start calling you Doomsday Ron.
Oh, I'm not doomsday anything. I can look at both sides of the coin and say, look, we have a choice. It's kind of like the Hopi, right? They did that.
Okay.
You got the choice. You got the doomsday choice. Yeah. Right. Or you got the positive choice. Which one do you want to take? Because really it comes down to us in the end. It really does.
Everyone can go to Ron's bunker. You have a bunker, right?
No, I don't.
No bunker. Okay.
No bunker.
You got a pretty deep basement, though, I think, don't you?
I don't know. I don't know about that.
You might be okay.
I'm not really sure about that. Not sure. Oh my God, they're still rolling. Let me see. I just scrolled down through here and saw all these. What is it? What is it? And the fact that there were constantly C-130s flying around didn't help. Oh my God, LR, you're so right. Don't you remember? They would be like the big squadrons of them too. It wasn't just one or two. They would be like 3 or 4, flying through, and they would test those darn helicopters, especially over West Virginia. They did. The Apaches, they used to fly those things down, and the old Hueys. Man, when a Huey came over the hill, you could hear that a mile away. It was incredible. But yeah, man, I mean,
they were testing Ospreys because my house is right in the flight path.
They vibrate the house. Vibrates the house. But LR's talking about,
my house is going to take off.
LR's talking about when we were growing up, like as kids, they would test these things. They were monsters. I mean, where you do your observation there, Dave. They used to have guard training over there, and from my house, I could watch them do practice airdrops. They would do practice airdrops over there, and
they still do occasionally.
Do they still do them? Yeah. Yep. Linda, I still remember the Cuban Missile Crisis. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the military actually is doing more testing in the Charleston area. Up at Yeager Airport, they actually have some. They have a small. I don't know if not quite a squadron, but they have a small group of military jets that are flying out there. I think it might be one Wednesday a month or a couple of Wednesdays. Joe would probably know more than I would on that one, but or if we have some military vets in here that lives in the area that might know.
We need an expedition to find a billionaire bunker. Then, that's I mean, I hear there's a few of them's got a couple out there. I don't know. We call you Doomsday Dave, so being scary is in our blood. Speaking for the Gen Xers.
Naturally.
My house was on their approach path. Yeah. Ron would join the Mothman families in the TNT bunkers.
Might be so big a location, maybe. Yeah.
That's pretty good. Yeah, that's true. It's true. When there are things beyond your control, you can plan and try to deal with it if it happens. In the end, you'll still need to live your life. Endless worry of things that might occur will ruin you. Yes, they will, my friend Enzo. That is the best advice that you could possibly utter, in my opinion. It's very true. That's why, a lot of times you see us laughing about this stuff. It's not because we don't take it seriously. We take it seriously. It's just that we realize that there are limits to what we can do. And sometimes you just got to laugh, man. You just got to laugh.
If you don't laugh about it, I mean, you'll drive yourself nuts into a depression, into whatever.
Yep. Absolutely. So, next week we've got the Mothman, the ultimate. I think it's the ultimate Mothman, Mothman Day celebration. I really do. We were going to have some viewpoints that you've probably not heard before. Like I said, I'm probably going to go over my account of seeing the winged humanoid thing that I don't talk about much, but it's Mothman Day, so why not, right? Let's talk about it. And then we're just going to look at some of the stuff that's going on. It's going to be a fun one, so you definitely want to be here. It's going to be great. Going to have a lot of fun. Joe should be back. Hopefully, like I said, you guys, please send out the prayers, send out the energy, all that stuff. Let's get him back in the saddle. David, what are your plans for this weekend? Do you have any observations going on? Anything going on that?
Well,
I know you got a new scope back there. You got some new equipment.
Yeah. I was hoping to take this. This is actually got this from my wife. Actually, this is
my god,
her telescope. But anyway, so it's a nice telescope. It's got a nice 483 millimeter focal length, which that may not mean a whole lot to some people, but it's enough you can square up the Orion Nebula, Pleiades, and get it all in there. But I hope to take it out. But this weekend, unfortunately, it looks like it's going to snow this weekend. So I don't. Or at least Sunday night and rain and everything else. So there's probably not going to be anything going on this weekend. So I'll probably just be playing and actually processing some old photos, which I think you might have some of those, Ron. Maybe, I don't know, for some folks to enjoy. You think he's probably still looking. Well, where are we at, Ron?
I don't know.
There you are.
I can't find your photos though. But it's okay. So yeah, you're gonna try to get out there and do some stuff and take some more photos, and hopefully, like you said, you're gonna try to image some of these things so what be able to look at them next week. Everybody, I think that's the show. What do you think, Dave? You good? Did we touch everything?
We could talk for another hour if we wanted to, really, but I'm sure some folks might be.
We could. We probably pick up the West Coast that way because we usually don't get the West Coast. Enzo, I can't believe you guys have snow in the forecast already. Just seems too soon. Well, I'll tell you what, Enzo. I'm kind of just watching that because I don't know if you know this or not, but a lot of your weather services right now are using AI to predict stuff. They're using these strange models. We were already supposed to have a snow on Halloween, right, Dave? They were saying we were supposed to get like 5 inches of snow on Halloween. And I said, this is not going to happen. This is more of your AI weather forecasting, and we are in trouble. So it will snow. I don't know when, I don't know how much. But I would very, very much be leery of some of the forecasts you hear, especially on social media. It's kind of like those giant supermoon photos that we saw, right, Dave? The ones that are impossible to get, those, right?
those are composites. So yeah.
Oh, they're 100% composites. Someone asked me how I knew it was a composite. Don't you know that photographers can take photos like that? And I'm like, I am a photographer. I can tell you what it takes to take a photo like that. I can see the distortion in the moon. I know how that photo was taken.
Yeah. Like this beautiful star tracker. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But you're always going to get that distortion in the upper atmosphere when you're taking pictures of the moon. It's going to happen the more you zoom into it. And if you think that you can get that distortion and still pull in something like, oh, I don't know, a distant, maybe Stonehenge. There's a good one. Stonehenge. That's great. Right. Or what was the other one? The Sydney Opera House. Yeah, it's amazing how the moon just rises right over top all these famous things. But yeah. Come on, guys. Just question everything. You know, it's literally our motto here now at the collective. And again, I think that that's important. We need to question everything. Like Avi said, and like Data said earlier, it's okay to say, I don't know. And we need more data. Okay. Let's see. Are we good? Let's pull them off. I see what you did there. See, you've been paying attention to the whole show. I wish we could give you a prize for that. Spill the Mothman tea, everyone. Yes. It's going to be a fun multi time. I do believe that we're going to have some interesting things show up. I don't know. This guy might show up. He might. I don't know. It's possible. He could.
I'll have some folks send some photos in of if they dressed up as Mothman for.
I forgot about that. We got to do that still. Sorry, hang on a second. Let's not go anywhere yet. I forgot to show you guys this. We got to do this. I completely forgot about the Halloween thing. We had you folks send in some images of yourselves. Let me find them real quick because I had them over here. Where'd they go?
What would Ron do without me?
Yep. Just subtle reminders, Dave. Just subtle reminders.
He tries to get rid of me, then I'd pull him right back in.
Yep. Kind of like the government does. Yeah, that's right. Okay, let's see. Oh, yeah, here we are. I've got this one. Here's one. Okay, this is okay. Let's start with here's we go. We got this one here. See, we got this one here.
That's a good one.
That's
Perfect.
good.
I love that one.
That's great, right? Got
yes.
Got a little Dumb and Dumber going on, right? And we got these two here. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, right? And then we got this one here, appropriately enough.
Nice.
Launching us into the next episode, possibly.
Lampshade's a good touch.
Lampshade's a good, right? That's good. But yeah, these were our entries that you guys sent in for the little photo thing to share your. What just happened, Dave? I hit the wrong button. To share your photos with the group. And there they are. And let's see. Yeah. I don't know. Which ones you guys like? Which ones you thinking there? This is number 1. This number 2. This is number 3. Which one do you guys like? 1, 2, or 3? 1, 2, 3. And yes, you can vote for yourself. 1, 2, or 3.
I think 3 is going to be our winner, Ron.
I think 3 is going to be the winner, bud. I know there's 28 people here, but I'm seeing a lot of votes for this. Oh, wait, now number 2's got a couple votes. Hang on. Let's not get all carried away here. Let's see. We gotta wait. Okay. Well, I got votes coming in. All right, we're waiting. We're gonna wait on you guys. We're gonna wait just a little bit longer to let you all get your votes in. I'm gonna star this up here so we can count them. 1 vote per person, please. And I will roll them one more time. Okay. We got 1, 2, 3.
So I'm
We got
counting
12. Is that 12 votes? What do you got? How many votes is there?
Yeah, so I'm counting eight. Okay, now I'm counting. Yeah, eight. I'm counting 8 3s, 9 3s.
Okay.
Actually, Hezekiah already voted once, so
Okay.
that'll be.
I see it. I see it. Yeah. I got that. Okay. It looks like. All right. What we got, Dave? Who's the winner?
Looks like number 3 is our majority.
Looks like number 3 is the majority, guys. So you guys have spoken. Number 3, yeah, you are this year's winner. And you know what? We'll find something. We'll find something to get to you. That's pretty cool. That's a really good little get up. So we're gonna send you something. I don't know what it's gonna be yet, but we're gonna find something. And yeah, you guys did great. And yeah, that is Jordan, by the way, if you guys don't know. It's just great. It's awesome. You guys did a wonderful job. So yeah, let's be here next week again when we do some really cool things again. And it probably won't be such a serious show. Unless unless aliens, right? I mean, let's be real. It's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot to sidetrack Mothman. Okay. So I'm just saying,
unless Mothman is 3i Atlas.
I mean, it could be. You have to remember these things do happen. Here's the deal. If you have, because we did have to cancel the In Focus episode. Okay. So if you have any photos, audio, video, whatever, evidence of anything that you would like for us to show here and address live with the collective, that's all of you, send it in and let's get it up there, and let's get it scheduled for the next In Focus. I'm not going to say when it's going to be because developing things are happening. I do know that on December 4th we have Stan Gordon will be coming back. This is going to be for the 60th anniversary, right before the 60th anniversary of Kecksburg. That's going to be a big show, so make your plans for that one too. He will be revealing some stuff I think that he has not made public. I don't think so. I mean, he may have made it public, but if he did, it was in like a lecture or something. So yeah, we're going to have some really interesting stuff going on. We're going to talk about some really cool stuff, mostly all Kecksburg and how it's relating to the right now. I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but there was a God bless. We still got to do this. I'm sorry. I just remembered something else we didn't show that's significant for this. Hang on. I promise we can go here in a second. And bless every one of you who are sticking out for this. You can always come back and listen tomorrow if it gets too late for you. But let me find this very quickly because this was a significant thing, I thought, anyway. November, here it is. So yeah, here it is. So the Soul Foundation recently had their big meeting, right, Dave? And
yes, they did.
Yeah, and there was some interesting revelations made during that meeting. So let's pull that up here just really quick. This is just a real rundown. We're not going to go through the whole thing, I promise. We're just going to touch on some interesting parts of this that are probably going to surface and make news of their own very shortly, because from what I understand, there's a couple movies that are coming out, right, Dave?
Oh yeah, I forgot about some of that.
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg is involved with one of those, I believe.
Yep.
Isn't that correct?
His is coming out next year. We've got Age of Disclosures coming out. We've got James Fox's new one coming out. Speaking of which, James Fox's also has a very small little clip at the beginning, and you can see the Kecksburg craft in that. I don't know what that means yet. I just thought that was interesting that he put that in there. But I do know that this showed up, and this is a Soul Foundation thing. This is a little summary from the Soul Foundation that took part. Look there at Jeff Nucitelli. Can you see where it says Jeff Nucitelli's what he did? Nucitelli. Disclosed that his father was a direct witness to the Kecksburg incident. Right? That's a very interesting little thing that that he had not, that we know of, that he had said before. So that was pretty cool. There was also some little Skywatcher news in there where they said basically that no one has a dog whistle except for them, and that they were continuing their research, and they believe that they would be able to do exactly what they said. They're going to call one of these things in, I guess, and get autographs. I don't really know. We're going to have to wait and see. I'm not dismissing anything that they're doing, again, because I've seen too many things at this point to know that there is some kind of intent, consciousness linked to this thing. So, you know, more power to them, and let's see what they produce in the coming weeks. I think we did it. I think we did it.
We have our own. Yeah. Yep.
I think we did it. All right, guys, I'm going to call it just because we, I think I'm running out of breath. I'll be 100% honest with you. And we could just keep going on forever. We actually talked about that a long time ago. We talked about doing like a marathon at one point, like a telethon thing, and catching the guys on the West Coast. Thank you, Ron and Dave. Everyone, try and watch Mothman Prophecies before next show. Yeah, watch. I'll give you one better. Go watch, what was it? Mothman of Point Pleasant, Small Town Monsters, and watch Mothman Legacy, Small Town Monsters. You might see somebody you know in there. Just saying. All right, guys, I'm going to call it. I think that's good. Bless every single one of you for being here. Thank you so much for supporting the show. And we're gonna hit that 3,000. Trust me, we're gonna do it.
Yes. Yes.
We're definitely going to do it, and it's all because of you guys. We'll see you here next week at the exact same place.
Everyone's a paranormal rock star.
Yeah, that's it.
Something like that.
I don't know. All right, guys, stay wild and weird. We'll see you out there.